Hey y'all, decided to make a real quick video on some of the equipment I'll be using this weekend. We're going to be going fishing to the coast of Monterey here on Sunday, and just I've showed some of my equipment before. This is just a little recap on what we'll be using when we go to the coast this weekend. So right here we have just a big fishing reel. It's just a trophy. It's a Quantum. Pretty cheap fishing reel, but it's, you see the size of my hand. It's a good size ocean fishing reel with a Berkley Power or Big Game series rod. This should be, let's see, this is the 8-foot medium heavy spinning lure, 1 to 4 ounces, trilene line 10 to 25 pounds. Same thing here. Probably see this a little better. The Big Game by Berkley. This should be the same exact rod. Let's see, 8-foot medium heavy spinning rod. That's what we're using. These rods work great. I've got a nice Daiwa Laguna reel on here, pretty good size, 25-pound or 30-pound test. Andy's line. It's probably the best you can buy, I think, in my opinion. And then in my bait casting reel here, I got a 330 GTI, which is a graphite pin reel, and this is really good as just a clicker, a bait reel, so you can fish in real shallow and pull some big stuff out of the rocks. We're gonna be fishing off the shore here in Monterey, and this is more of a surf setup here. And this here is a pin 940 Level-matic. Old school little reel, but it holds a ton of line. I've got 10-pound test on this, and I've got this on a Super 7 Abu Garcia high, whatever, blah blah blah, graphite. This is kind of like a steelhead rod, 7-foot rod, really nice rod. It's kind of like a beefed up bass rod, and that's all it is. I'm going to be using that for surf perch, and if we do leave the rocks where we're going to be fishing, we'll be fishing on the beach. I'll be using something like that. Most people use just a small reel with spinning setup, but I just like to level wind myself. And then on our actual gear we'll be taking with us, you need to have your basic ocean regulations for your area. This is here for California for the 2012-2013 season. You need to have some good, really good sunblock. And the main reason why is because you don't have to lather it on your hands. You can just spray the button, put some sunblock on. This is great, so you don't get any chemicals on your bait. It's good to have a towel. These are just old books I had. This is kind of what we're looking at here using. The basic thing we use is a 4-aught circle hook. They work excellent. Some odds and ends in here. Floating pliers, a must. The metal ones will just rust up real bad in the salt water. So these work really good, especially as a line cutter there. And measuring tape, so you can make sure you're legal. Whatever size fish you catch is legal size. Extra spool of line here is Andy's in 30-pound. Got a nice Chilean knife in here. It's razor sharp. I don't use bobbers, but I brought this just in case we got surf perch on the surface. An extra reel, just in case, something breaks. And a stringer. And some heavy-duty knife gloves, because some of these fish have real big spines. There's a hat there, too. Staying protected, staying out of the sun. Really, really important when you're fishing on the coast. You can fish 4 or 5 hours, no problem. But the problem is when you fish all day long, 8, 12, 14 hours, and then you're driving home sunburnt. And that just makes for a really horrible, horrible trip home, trying to stay awake when you're fried as heck. So anyway, this is just some of the gear we're going to be using this weekend. And it was a full moon last night. It's nowhere near the moon coming up yet. It's only 7 o'clock, so. But anyway, we'll be heading up to the coast this weekend, so if you guys have any questions on how we set up our rigs or anything, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And even if it's after, months after the video, I still respond to just about everybody who posts questions. But this is our setup here for Central California coast, rock fishing off the shore, and it works really good. Really good, proven way of catching big fish constantly. In the box, you see it's all different types of circle hooks only. Some are 2-aught, some are 4-aught, some barrels, some swivels. We got some 6 or 8-aughts, whatever these are. But you gotta think you're catching some pretty large fish, so you need some pretty heavy stout equipment. And even though we'll be fishing from the shore, we do not as good as from the boats. But if in the boats you catch, 50 fish, you can only keep 10 here in California rockfish, so we can definitely catch 10 off the shore. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'd love to hear them.